So I've known Michelle for, I don't know, I've lived here for 7 years. I met you pretty soon after I lived here, and I have the utmost respect for her and her journey and her story. It's compelling. This is, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times you've done some sort of something for me. You're my go-to girl because, hey, y'all, I want y'all to hear her story, because to me, Michelle's story is any of our stories. Michelle's story could happen to me. It could happen to you. And the way that she's handled her health since then, to me, has been very, she's taken an integrative approach, and I love it. So, Michelle, I want you to share with our listeners today just some steps that they can take. But first of all, tell them a little bit about your story.
So I am a 6-year survivor, which is very exciting, and I'm doing great. It was a crazy ride there for a little while, but I'm doing good now. And when Amy called, she wanted me to kind of talk to you kind of about how all of this started, and like she said, why my story could be your story. And so I kind of put together like 5 things that I think are really important, and things that I would suggest to you, and things that I have changed in this journey. So I discovered my breast cancer on my 40-year yearly checkup. I wasn't expecting to get a mammogram. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just that didn't occur to me that needed to be done. So we had that done, and we ended up discovering it. And that was a shock, at 40 years old. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that it feels like, to me, ever since that time, 6-7 years ago, I feel like 40 is not becoming unusual anymore. It's almost like it's becoming younger and younger. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that would address that. So mammogram obviously is super important. That's how I caught mine. Very thankful for that. But your insurance, doesn't pay for that until you turn 40, and then they don't really pay for it every year. So I think you should consider maybe some alternatives. And one thing that I think is so important is the self-examination. It feels like that kind of got overlooked somehow. We kind of quit talking about it. It felt like for a while there that was a big thing, but it seems like that's kind of gone away. And that's something you can do, yourself, and once a month or whatever. So that's super important. Another thing is there is a technology called thermography, and it's able to detect heat areas in your body that can, detect the possibility of something going on. That's something that you have to pay for out of your pocket. But if you're younger, if you've had a history in your family, if you have some symptoms of a hormone imbalance, I would highly suggest you do it. It's a great way to keep an eye on things, and it's also a great way to get a base reading. And then as you go, years down the road, it'll kind of help you keep an eye on things. So I think that's great. So
where can you go
those
get
3
that?
things: thermography, self-exam, and mammograms.
Where can you get a thermography?
So there, I know right now there is a lady from Mobile, and she has a company called Thermography Advantage. Her name is Carolyn. She's been doing it for probably 10 to 12 years, and she's out of Mobile, but she travels all around Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. She comes to Jackson or Flowood area about once every 6 to 8 weeks. So if you want to get on her schedule, just check out her website, thermographyadvantage.com.
For our listeners that are in the North or New York or somewhere like that, can they Google maybe online?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And honestly, I think it may be a little bit more common in the northern states than it is here. I think there's also a place in New Orleans that does it. But yeah, definitely Google it, and it's definitely becoming a little bit more mainstream. Okay. The great thing about it is it's a great way to keep an eye on things without getting the radiation in your body, because we have to have that because that's how we look, but you don't want to do that too much either. It's kind of a fine line. So thermography is a great way. It's a great alternative.
It's a wonderful alternative. Yes. Yes. And I agree with you. This self-check, just the self-examination.
No,
I forget to do it. Like,
I
and
think
then I
everybody
remember in
does.
October, when October 1st, that the pink happens. It's like, oh, I need to.
I know.
Yeah. So, okay. So okay. Testing yourself, examination, and mammogram or thermography.
Yes.
All right. What's number 2?
So those are the 3 big ones.
Yeah.
All right. The second thing I would say is get a base level reading of your hormones. Maybe have those checked every year, year and a half. Those can be done several different ways. Blood tests or a saliva test, I think, is a little bit more accurate. There's a company I can give you. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but we can put a link to it. A company in North Carolina, and they'll send you the kit, and it's a saliva test. You take a 24-hour test, and then they'll, get your results and send them back to you. And I think the important thing about that is that for me personally, my cancer was hormone driven, and really not most, but a lot of cancer is hormone driven. A lot of people I think, oh, well, I don't have a history in my family, so I'm okay. But that's really not true. The genetic form is not quite as common as the hormone form.
Wow.
And so I think it's a great idea to kind of get an idea of where you are, so that if one thing is out of balance, you can start taking some steps to balance those things out. Because what happens is when your estrogen gets a little higher, then it starts suppressing your progesterone. And then that just grows and grows and grows. And that's where that happens. And if you have symptoms like, if you have, around the time of the month, you have really bad breast tenderness. And if you have PCOS and things like that, you're having those type symptoms and problems, that might be an indication that your hormone balance is off. And so I definitely would get that checked. Nobody ever told me to do that. And I think it's huge.
As a health coach, I 100% agree. And these are some things that we talk about in my membership, in my Fit Soul tribe, because it is a really important part of our health. So, and you're right. They don't talk about it when you go visit your OBGYN. They don't bring it up. Oh, you're fine. Yeah, let me see that whole panel, because fine to you is not, I think women get used to not feeling well, and they get used to being tired, and they think, oh, I'm just getting older, or I'm going through whatever, or I've got PMS, or I'm going through the change, or I'm perimenopausal. This is just normal. Girl, no, it's not. There is an optimal way to live, and that is not it. So yes, I completely agree with Michelle.
And I tell you, the pushback that I got when I would ask my doctors, they would say, oh, well, your hormones change from day to day. And yes, they do change from day to day. That is very true. But if you're getting it done every 6 months, a year, and it's a consistent pattern of estrogen being a lot higher than progesterone, then that's an indication that something's wrong. It's time to start figuring out where the dominance is coming in. So that leads to number 3.
Well, let me just back up on that for just a second. So if some of you guys are watching this and you're like, holy crap, what's estrogen? What's progesterone? Forget it. Look, no, do just a tiny Google search on this. Message me. I can get you some information. If you're thinking, oh gosh, that just became overwhelming. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. For your health, it is a great idea to do. This is something that actually I have an integrative functional practitioner, and I need to go every 6 months, but I keep up with my hormone levels, and I highly encourage you to do the same thing as well. It is very much an indicator of your overall health. Okay, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so number 3 leads me to some of the things that can be causing that estrogen dominance, if that's something that you find that you have. And here's the bad news. I just had a funny meeting with a group of friends about this. And if it smells good in your house, it's probably not good for your estrogen. And that means your Downy dryer sheets, your Fabuloso, your Gain, all of things like that. And I think we hear it and they say, oh, chemical and toxic and whatever. And it doesn't it doesn't hit home. I think I would think that would hurt my lungs or something like that. But no, those products, and you gotta be very careful. Sunscreen, I'm big on sunscreen, and bug repellent. Those things are scary. You have to be so diligent because those things contain something that's called a xenoestrogen, and they mimic our estrogen. And that's where the overload comes in. So we have our natural that's good for us and makes us a woman and beautiful breasts and all that. But these other things come in and mimic it. They attach to our receptors, and that's where that dominance comes in, and then it starts suppressing the progesterone. So I think we hear it. We hear, be careful with your chemicals, use cleaning products, but I don't think we really understand why and how important that it really is. And it's hard. Me and my husband are in a fight because he wants his shirts to smell really strong. And so I come home with the clean laundry detergent, and then he comes back 2 weeks later and he's so excited. He's like, oh, look, I got some gain. I'm like, oh gosh, that's the very thing I'm trying to, to kind of keep out of here. So it's hard because I think we associate that with clean and the smell of clean, and just need to look at some alternatives. There's essential oils. There's a lot of things that you can use. You can use essential oils for your bug spray and your cleaning products.
You can.
And
I think one of the things that I find with just helping people is sometimes things get overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, now I need to catch my hormones, and now I need to start worrying about all this stuff. Look, baby steps are okay. And for me personally, I had to go on a process, a journey to start cleaning up the different things. And I don't have, I still have some things that could be cleaned up. It cost more money. It just, it's super expensive. So I think you have to just start prioritizing and be resourceful for cleaning products. There's a lot of things that you can make, actually.
Yes.
There's a
laundry detergent is a great one that you can make.
Okay.
From natural products, you can make a huge 5-gallon bucket of laundry detergent, so much cheaper. And add some essential oils or something like that to add that smell if you want that good smell, if that's something that's super important to you. So there's definitely, and I
somewhere.
Am so not perfect.
No.
Oh my gosh. But I just feel like if you start taking these little steps, I think what we have to think about is it's really not about us anymore. If you could probably right now count on your hands. I mean, I could name 10 breast cancer people that I know either with breast cancer or have had breast cancer in 30 seconds. And it's 1 in 8. It's really a lot. And it's what scares me is if it's that much for us and our age group, what is it going to be like for our sons and our daughters?
Absolutely.
And we need to start implementing these changes so that we can teach them, so that they start learning the right way to go. It's like a seatbelt, we just all wear seatbelts now because that's what started to change as we were growing up.
Right.
And so I think if we just start making these changes slowly and start teaching them, I think they'll be ahead of the game for sure.
I agree. That's a great word right there. Absolutely. Okay, ma'am, what's that next tip you have?
Okay, next thing is your food. And that goes back to Amy. I think she's got some healthy and clean tips that she's going to send you. But that's where I was so drawn to her. It's because the food element, that was a big unknown for me, and she helped me tie all that together. Just eating clean and the outside of the grocery store, and I fall off the wagon every now and again. And man, when I do, I can just tell such a difference.
Absolutely.
And it's, I've always said our body wants so hard to be well. It desires optimum wellness. If you will just give it what it needs, it will work so hard for you.
Yes, it will.
And that food is a big thing, and it goes back to the cost. It's not super cheap, but you can start getting creative, and you can find ways. It can be done, and you can definitely find ways to do that. So And that goes back to our kids. I mean, we got to do that for them. We owe it to them.
We really do. And it's hard. One thing I don't think people realize from when we were younger, that food is so much worse. And
oh my God.
You know, it used to be a treat to go to McDonald's when I was a kid, or a Burger King or something like that. You know, that you just didn't go. Well, now it is. Parents are so busy.
It's a daily event.
So many of sporting events. You know, Chick-fil-A is kind of considered, oh, it's not so bad. It's not so great. Let's just call BS on it. It's not so great for y'all. Look, it's not good for you. It's not good for your kids. And I'm about to get a lot of hate mail right now. You don't know my schedule. I get it. I do, actually. I do know your schedule. It's hard. But if we can eat real food, we're going to find so much healing, and we're going to prevent so many diseases. So that's hard.
Yeah, breast cancer is a drop in the bucket for the diseases that healthy food source can help you with. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, of course, it'll fight obesity, diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's. There's a whole new wave of, right now, what you're eating matters for your mental health, for your emotional well-being, depression, anxiety, everything. So, all right, Michelle, I just want to tie everything you said back together. Number one is awareness. Take care of yourself, a yearly examination, mammogram, thermography, for sure, a self-examination once a month.
It's free. That's free.
It's free. It's the only thing free we talked about. Number two, what was it?
Number two was getting your hormones checked. Getting a base level of your hormone check and see kind of where you are. And then if you start feeling off or whatever, check it again and see if there starts to be a pattern in your levels.
Yes, totally. Number three
was trying to scale down your toxic load, getting rid of things that are really toxic to your body, to your skin, and start slowly replacing them with things that are good for you.
Yes. And the fourth thing is watch what you eat. Eat real food.
Yep.
Eat real food. That's the hardest one, I think. I mean, well, they're all kind of hard.
I think so too.
That one is a lifestyle. They're all kind of hard. Michelle, I am so proud of you. I'm so thankful that you're alive and that you are a survivor, and you're a hero in my book, girl. So keep encouraging others. And for everybody that listened today, I have a freebie for you if you'd like it. It's called Healthy Hacks, and it is how to establish healthy habits in your life and some easy healthy hacks you can have, because the thing I hear most people say, I'm busy. Oh my gosh, y'all, can we come up with a different word?
And you know what? We're all busy. That is not an excuse. Everybody's busy. You're not any busier than I am. We're all busy. Got to come up with something else. That's not good anymore.
And it almost sounds negative. It's like, can we just say, I'm awesome, I'm great, my schedule's full, but I'm great? I don't know.
Exactly.
Can we come up with an explain that? So since we're so awesome and our schedule is so full, there's still ways to live a healthy lifestyle. And I have my top 5 tips for you in this Healthy Hacks. So, ladies, I send all of my love to you, and I know Michelle does too. Please take care of your breast health. 1 in 8 are diagnosed with cancer. There is probably not one of us women that can say, oh, I don't know anybody that's had breast cancer. We all know somebody. We have probably at this point, I mean, this makes me choke up, have lost friends to breast cancer. I've lost 2 dear friends, and it just, this is really important to me. I know it's important to Michelle, and she's here. She's a mama, and she gets to still be a mama to her son, but she's living it out. She's not perfect. She just said, we're not doing everything perfect, but we've got to try. You've got to take your health, be your own health advocate. That is, if we can say anything, leave with that. Be your own health advocate.
Absolutely.
Your body knows better than anybody else. And I've heard different ones say, oh gosh, it was a 35-year-old. I'm trying to remember where I saw her story, but her doctor was like, no, you're fine. And she's like, no. And she wasn't fine. She had breast cancer.
Absolutely.
My girlfriend died, and she was in her 30s. She was breastfeeding a baby. And they're like, oh, it's a milk clot duct. No, she had breast cancer, and she died shortly thereafter. It was devastating. So take it seriously, and I say all of these things in love, and I know Michelle does too. Michelle, we totally appreciate your time. Thank you so much, girl. Sexy beast.
Hashtag. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for doing this. I think it's a great service.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'm going to sign off on this thing, and it takes me a hot minute to find all the buttons. So,
all right, okay, I'm out. I enjoyed it.
Bye, girl.
Bye.